Welcome back to another race weekend in the Sunday Racing League. Today, racing at Monza, Temple of Speed. Hoping to get a good race. 15 drivers on the grid. Should be quite fun to watch. Luckily, we can't actually end the race on a safety car in the game. So it should be good. Let's go through driver standings while players are loading up in the game. So with his win last weekend, Joe Royal extended his lead at 132 points in front of Michael, who's doing quite well this season at 104 points. Lenzi, his teammate, right behind at 75 points. Face Pantera at 72 points. SF Rock and his teammate Nathaniel both tied at 58 points, so pretty consistent for McLaren's. Too Late next at 49 points. Acid Masters at 44 points. Mercedes, Stan in Mercedes at 43 points. Del Gizu at 38. Rijad at 33. Amers at 30. Papa Yesu at 29. So pretty tight in the midfield. El Trucker coming up next at 24 points. Razi at 19. Bingram 15 points. Richie 15 points. DTR No Jug at 14. Junas at 12. Anza 9. Tom H at 9. Farico 8 points. Michael and Arjan both tied at 7. And constructor standings. So we got Red Bull in the lead at 179 points, followed by Ferrari at 156 points. McLaren coming up next at 116 points. AlphaTauri at 79. Haas right behind at 78. Mercedes at 52. Aston Martin coming up next at 22 points. Williams at 14. Alpine at 0. And Alfa Romeo at 0 as well. So quite disappointing for both teams. Hope they will get a better result today. So I think I saw TGL lagging out as we got a Mercedes coming out of the pit lane. First car on track. Let's go on board with Stan, who's going to be the first one. So Stan finishing his outlap, starting a new one. Well, the first one. doing quite good in Sector 1. And now, both Lesmo really need to be careful at the second one because I find it a bit slippery at the exit. Now entering Ascari. Oh, and quite aggressive on the curbs and lost it for Stan. He's gonna wait. Who's next? I think it was Bob, was it? Yeah, it was Bob. So Bob will be first one to cross the line and set a lap. Bob sets a 1:20.3. I think I saw a driplet coming down, or is it lag? FaZe follows him through with the 20.8. So both us coming up next. Papa Yisu then will be too late. Papa Yisu goes fastest with the 20 flat, and too late goes with the 19.5. Richie 20.1. Nerdy 21.5. So lots of car crossing the line right now. Junus with the 20.3. Nathaniel with the 20.2. And TGL with the 20.7. Now will be Rozzy. And I see McLaren has lost it at Parabolica. Rozzy sets a 20.208. Solid lap. And next will be DMAC. A 21.6. Am I seeing rain? Or is it just a graphic thingy? I think it is. I don't see rain. So everyone will go back in the pits. Oh, I think Farico is on a lap. Let's follow him. And Farico sets this a 20.726, 1,000 behind TGL. So let's go on board with Joe, who's on his outlap at the moment. So he's gonna be all alone on track as everyone goes in the pits. So too late with a flyer. Will Joe be able to defend? Let's find out. .350 kilometers per hour, so that's fast. Curva Grande. And it's a 26.1. Oh, a bit aggressive on the curb. And now entering Lesmo. Sixth gear. Oh, and I think FaZe has DNF. What happened to him? Now into Ascari. Really aggressive for Joe. Will we see where phase has ended? Oh, he spun! Probably spun trying to warm up his tires. Wow, so unfortunate for him. And Joe will cross the line, and it's a 19.549. Snatches the pole from too late, but this ain't over. And I think both Haas will work together. I think June, was it Bob? No. Oh, and seem to be in Haas in trouble. Ooh, right in the middle of the track! And Bob had to avoid it. And by that, had to abort his lap. Don't know why he's not ghosted though. And Papayisu's qualifying is done. Oh, and I think... Okay, no, it's just a... I'm trying to find somebody who's near the end of his lap. Go on board with Jonas. Not improving. And Stan goes with the 20.06. And Jonas only improves by 9 thousandths. So TGL is not on a push lap. Farico on a out lap. What about Razi? Razi had to abort as well. Next up will be D-Mac. He's on the out lap. Johnny as well. I think Too Late is on the hot. Yeah, he is. Can Too Late answer Joe and get that P1? I don't think he will. I think... Okay, no, he's pushing. That was a really tight line, and Too Late goes within 19.3, so 0.2 up. Really good lap for Too Late. On board with Not Richie. Entering Ascari. And did quite well. Oh, and spun at the Parabolica. A bit too eager on throttle. And his teammate invalidates. What about TGL? Oh, and he too eager on throttle as well. And spun. And moving out of the way for D-Mac to go through, but it has to go in. And now got a... Ooh, a broken wing for Johnny. And now SF Frog going through. And SF Frog sets in 19.7. P3 at the moment, so good lap for SF Rock. So I think everyone's back in the pits. And Razi is already out with just over 5 minutes left in quali. After that, we'll get a sprint race. So it should be quite fun. And then we'll go through with the feature race. So Razi weaving, trying to get the temperatures up. And he goes as wide as possible to get maximum speed on the straight. Because you can gain quite a lot. 351 kilometers. It's quite fast as well. Into Curva Grande. Now into Della Rodia. And now down under the old track. I didn't get to see if Razi was improving on his previous time, but let's find out. I don't think he is. He's slowing down. So not happy with his lap. Let's go on board with Johnny. I didn't see anyone, well, any team doing a slipstream, doing a tow. I'm wondering if we're gonna see it until the end. So Nerdy improving by almost alpha 10. So he has more to offer, that's for sure. And Johnny really careful on the curbs. Oh, and TGL's done. And I think Bob's is done as well. He kind of lost it between both Lesmo. And Nerdy improves his time with a 20.9. So good lap for him. Next up will be McLaren. Oh, that's SF Rock. So anyone on a hot lap? Let's go on board with SF Rock. And I see Ferrari struggling. "30 seconds left in quali. So last chance for everyone to improve their time. I think it was purple sector 2 for Rock. And is he gonna get a tow from his teammate? I think he will. and he lost it. And both McLarens lost it at Parabolica. And now Stan coming through, looking to improve, and he does with a 19.3. Well, second place for him at the moment. Next up will be Nat Ritchie to cross the line. And Ritchie sets a 19.6. Next up should be a Ferrari. Was it Joe? No, it's not Joe. And one Ferrari and Alpha aborted their lap. So we got Razzie now in front, improving. And Too Late sets in 19.1. Really, really good lap. And what about Razzie? Can he do better? Yes, he can. 19.9. And now should be Joe. Oh, and Joe aborted his lap. And that's our qualifying done here at Monza. So Too Late will start in P1 for the sprint race. And Stan will be right next to him on the first row. On the second row, we will have Joe Royal and Not Ritchie, SF Rock and Razzie on the third row in P5, P6, Papa Yisu in P7, Jonas in P8, Nathaniel in P9, Bob will have to start from P10, TGL P11, Ferico P12, Face Pantera, who had a poor qualifying, will start from P13, Johnny in P14, and D-Mac from P15, but everything is up for grab in the sprint race. Are we going to get a good weather, or is it going to rain? That could be really interesting for the sprint race. Quite cloudy, but no sign of rain so far. So for the sprint race, I expect pretty much everyone to do it on mediums. Maybe some will try softs. If there's a safety car, this could be really good for the soft runners. Let's find out. So no formation lap. And 5 red lights. And lights are off, and away we go at Monza for this sprint race. And a good start from Razzie. A really good one for Papa Yisu as well. And Joe gets a good start, but has to cut the corner. Might have to give back that position. And quite of chaos happening at the back. See yellows. And Too Late. Well, Joe has to give that place back to Too Late. And too wide. But everyone is giving the space. Ooh, quite a correction for SF Rock. And now, Not Ritchie under attack by Face Pantera, who's trying to mitigate the damage. And now Johnny goes with the move on D-Mac. Well, D-Mac I think is struggling. Yes, he is. And now Nathaniel on Bobsata at Parabolica, who's going to get a better traction. So everybody is on the mediums. And now Razzie gets the job done on Papa Yisu. And not Richie. Now on Bob Sada. Ooh, a bit of contact between those two. And he has to cut the corner. And lots of movements happening right now. And Federico has made up 5 positions so far. So really, really good start for Federico. I think there's a fight at the back, and that's TGL Stewart who spun. Ooh, and Johnny as well. Like I said, you have to be really cautious on that exit curb of Lesmo. And he has to DNF. Are we going to see a safety car? Don't know why he had to DNF. Maybe a broken rear wheel. Ooh, and I think a Ferrari now spun. That's D-Mac at Huskery. And too late with the fastest lap so far. Jonas. Under attack by Face Pantera and SF Rock as well. Closes the door on the outside. Goes wide under pressure by FaZe. And I think FaZe will get the job done. Ooh. That was kind of weird. Don't know why the Ferrari was so slow, as there's an Alpha in the sand, in the gravel trap. That was Federico. Lots of stuff happening right now. And now FaZe. Ooh, and not Richie goes wide. And he goes wide once again. So Federico will jump in. Wow. Lots of stuff happening right now. SF Rock putting in pressure on Federico. And now, Papa Yisu. I think I see some rain. Or am I crazy? Oh, and too late! Is in the pits! Did he have damage? And I think they're going for inters. Oh, that's why. They're going for inters. And Stan, Bob, and FaZe, and Joe are taking the risk of going longer. So Joe's out on inters. And he got a 5-second out of it. Him and Nathaniel, I think, got a penalty. Let's go through penalties. Yes! Too late. Nathaniel and Federico got penalties. So it's raining now. And 4 drivers are taking the risk to go 1 lap longer. And Haas had to double stack on this one. Don't know if this affected Papa Yisu, but all in all. And I think that they made the right call to go in the pits. Look how much they're struggling to get the grip. So now they have to go in. So Joe was in P2, but now is in P4. And I think that Too Late will get... And FaZe is still going! On those mediums! Is he trying to rally up to the end on the mediums? And look how far Joe is going to be. Wow. That was, I think, a bad decision for Joe to keep on going. And Joe is back to P9 and he's fighting Federico. And Federico has the better grip. So 8 seconds is the gap between FaZe and Too Late. 4 laps to go. And I see yellow. That's TGL, who has DNF in the pit lane. Let's see. Position change. Oh, and I think that FaZe strategy will pay off unless it starts raining heavier. Because he has gained 12 positions so far, so he has to be really careful on the throttle and trying to keep on track. And I think there's Jonas. Jonas is struggling. I think the Ferrari is as well. Let's go back to the fight in front. Nathaniel and Razi. And the gap is down to 3.3 seconds between FaZe and Too Late. And Nathaniel on the outside. Who's gonna brake later? Both allowing the space, but Nathaniel, I think, got pushed a bit wide. No damage though. Oh, and it's down to... Wow, it's down to 0.1. It was at like 3, I think. So right now it's... The rain seems to be heavier. Oh, but Too Late has no ERS left, while FaZe has plenty, but he's on slicks. Well, 3 laps to go. A bit of a lockup on the front right. It's going to be a real tough end of the sprint for FaZe. But if he keeps it on track, this might be a really, really good move. Now Federico and Joe are having a fight as well. And Joe takes his place back. Well, moves up. Can Nathaniel go for a move on Razi? I don't think he will. I think we're gonna have a fight between SF Rock and Richie, but Richie goes wide, so that's a pretty easy move for Rock. Now, D-Mac is putting the pressure on Jonas. And Stan is everywhere behind FaZe, who has lost another place when D-Mac with a 3-second time penalty. Federico now. And Too Late has a 5 seconds, so if Stan can stay in the 5-second gap, he might gain 1 place. But he will have to push. Still not able to make a move for Nathaniel. Federico makes a mistake at the first Lesmo. And can SF Rock gain a place? Has a look. Oh, quite late on the brakes. And he will lose a lot of time. Federico goes wide. Now Nathaniel has closed up to Rossi, but almost no ERS left. Last lap of this sprint race. 3.4 is the gap between Too Late and Stan, so he will have to push really, really hard. And now SF Rock and Federico. SF Rock with the outside, gets the inside, but will he get the traction? I think he will. Federico trying to stay with him, and now side by side. He has the speed, still side by side, giving each other the space. And SF Rock stays in front. Good, really good fight happening right now. And Federico with a bit of a mistake on the throttle. But what a move! What a decision from Face Pantera to keep going on the mediums. Too Late gets P1 on track, but will drop down to P2, so Stan ends up in P1. FaZe, biggest winner in the sprint, will end up in P3, just in front of his teammate Rossi in P4. Papayizu coming up next in P5. Bob ends up in P6 due to Nathaniel's penalties. Nathaniel's in P7. Joe, P8. SF Rock, P9. Not Richie in P10. Federico, P11. Jonas will get P12 and DMAC will end up in P13. So, what a decision and what a drive, because you can make the choice to stay out on slicks, but you have to pull it off and stay on track, and that's what FaZe did. What a move. So that's the sprint race result, and that's our grid for the feature race. And we got clear weather for the race. So no formation lap. Stan will start first. 5 red lights and lights are off and away we go here at Monza. And a good start from Bobsetta. A bit of yellows. I think there was a bit of contact behind. Ooh, and big crash. Too late. Got pushed. So, Ferrari had to cut the corner, and I think it was Joe. And VSC. Wow, lot of stuff happening into that first corner. And Junis with the 5 second for ignoring yellow flag. So VSC. Wow. And Tule drops down to P9. And Razi to P10. What happened to him? Joe gets a 5 seconds as well. What happened? And Nerdy DNF'd. No safety car, but a VSC. Stan with a good start, avoided the carnage. FaZe. And we're green once again. FaZe with a good start as well. Bob with a really good start. Ends up in P3 at the moment. And he's putting the pressure on FaZe. Ooh, a bit late on the break for Bob. And misses the apex at turn 1. Really hard braking zone. And now too late. Will have to push. And I think he got a 5 second. Did he? Oh, so yeah, the penalties are there. Stan with 3. Joe with 10. Too late with 5. Junis with 10. And DMAC with 5. So too late has to work really hard to get back in the good points. And now side by side with SF Rock. Now TGL right behind SF Rock as well. Too late putting the pressure on Farico now. Really close. And he's going to push. Farico not defending. He knows that Too Late is faster than him. Now FaZe has close up to Stan, who has a penalty. Can he get into that DRS? Stan with a lot of ERS left. Oh, and now SF Rock on Farico. On the outside. And job's done. Yeah, I think I saw TGL. And TGL has spun at the first Lesmo. Oh, and DMAC has to avoid him even though he's ghosted. Now Farico back at it. Late on the brake. And parks the car on the apex so it blocks off SF Rock. SF Rock gets a slipstream. A bit of a lift. And he's gonna wait for that DRS. Farico really late. SF Rock goes for the switchback. Too late with the fastest lap. SF Rock with the DRS, so should be pretty much an easy move for him. And now Too Late working to close off the gap to Nathaniel in front. And FaZe can't quite make it into that DRS of Stan. And Nathaniel needs to stay behind Papayisu, and he makes a tiny mistake. And we get yellow. I think that's Razi. Yarzi. Oh no, that's FaZe. Is it FaZe? Oh yes, it is. FaZe lost it into Ascari and got a broken wing. So he will have to go in. Papa Yisu goes in front. Nathaniel trying to follow and too late as well. FaZe will have to jump in the pits and that's what he do. And too late now moves in front of Nathaniel. Can he do a double overtake? Yes, he can. His teammate will let him through, I think. And now has to defend, but a poor exit from Papa Yisu will give the place to Nathaniel. And Junas now overtakes Perico and still fighting. Ooh, a bit of contact, elbows out. And Papa Yisu will take that place back in front of Nathaniel. But they're losing time to too late, who might be able to pull them with him. So Papa Yisu pushing to stay in that DRS range. As we get a yellow, that's a Ferrari. I think it's D-Mac. And now a battle for P9 between Junas, Farico, and Razi. So strategy is pretty simple here. You just want to make one stop because guys are going so fast on the straight that you lose a lot of time. I think the average pit stop here is a 24-second lost. Oh, and SF Rock with what seems to be problem. Did he make a mistake? Oh, a bit of a love tap from Perico to Junas. Now Nathaniel still putting the pressure on Papa Yisu. He will get the DRS on the next straight. And now Farico moves in front of Junas. And a nice move just before Ascari. D-Mac jumps in the pits. And Razi has a look. Oh, and a good exit from Junas. With DRS now. And SF Rock will follow him through and try to double overtake. Ooh, a bit of contact between Junas and SF Rock. And that's a double overtake for SF Rock, who got quite aggressive. And now Farico trying to get the outside line on Curva Grande. Will it be enough? I don't think it will. Ooh, and Junas coming back at SF Rock and pushes him wide. Has to go off-road. And he got pushed by Junas, who was quite aggressive. So really good battle happening right now. Papa Yisu still in front of Nathaniel. Farico with another 3 seconds. Let's go to Nathaniel. Let's see if he can make the move now. Is Papa Yisu defending? No, he's not. And Nathaniel is pushing, going for the inside. Late on the brake. Oh, and a big crash from Papa Yisu, ends up in the wall. Broken front wing for him. Has to grow through. Oh, and he gets a 3 second for corner cutting. I didn't see if they made contact. I don't think they did, but maybe Papayesu was on the grass when he broke. I don't know. I can't quite tell. But all in all, Papayesu has a broken front wing, and it's really unfortunate because he had a good race so far. Battling for P5 with Nathaniel. And now too late. Still pushing right behind Joe. He's going to get DRS. Can he go for a move now? I don't think he will. No, he won't. So Papayesu's in the pits. And he should be going for Ards and trying to rally up to the end on this compound. And Bob, still in P2. It's quite impressive. Stan now 10 seconds ahead, cruising along. Too late, closing up to Joe. And I think he's preparing a move on the straight. Joe with a lot of VRS left. Let's go on board with Joe. On Tool, with Tool, I mean. And that's an easy move for Joe. For Too Late. And Too Late and gets P3. And we get yellow into Sector 3. I think that's TGL who spawned at the Parabolica. And he's gonna have to go in the pits. And Junis making the move on Farico. Oh, a bit of a drift for Junis. And now Farico coming back at it. And side by side, ooh, but Junis blocks the way and Razi will try to go through. Gets the outside line. Perico still there. Nicely done. A bit of a lift from Perico, I think. And he will go behind Razi. And now let's go on board with Too Late. Who can't quite overtake Bob. Who's going to make first? Ooh, really late braking for Too Late. And what a move. Oh, and Farico has DNF. Farico lost it into Ascari. No, safety car. And Joe now has caught up to Bob as well. So 2 DNF so far. Johnny at the start, and now Farico lost it at Ascari. And now Razi everywhere behind Junis. And he's pushing, so I think he's setting up a move on the straight. And Bubs, the first medium runner to go in the pits. Razi pushing. Jonas not defending. DRS wide open. An easy move for Razi, who takes back the racing line and gets P7, but Jonas with a late braking and will get a 5-second. I mean, that was way too cheeky and way too late on the brake. I mean, so instead of gaining one position, he has gained a 5-second time penalty, and now TGL really struggling to keep it on track. And no fights. Owen Stan gets a 5-second. I think it's another one. Oh, he had 3, so he's now up to 8 seconds. So if Too Late can catch up to him, he will get that P1. So penalties are 5 for Too Late, 10 for Joe, 8 for Stan, 3 for SF Rock, 15 for Jonas, 3 for Papa Yisu, and 3 for DMAC. Let's go back to tires, because I see a lot of people entering the pit lane. So even though Too Late is on old mediums, Joe is not gaining time on him. He's actually losing. So that shows how fast Tool is around Monza. So lots of penalties right now. FaZe closing up to Not Richie. Ooh, a bit of a snap for FaZe. We'll have to set back and try it another time. So pit window is open for medium runners. And only Razi and Too Late has yet to pit. And I think they're still going. Yes, they are. So only fight happening right now is the one between FaZe and Not Richie. And a bit of a moment again for FaZe. I think he's struggling to get the right grip. Maybe a bit too early on throttle. And now Bob Sada is closing up to Jonas. Bob with almost, no ERS left, actually. And TGL's race is done. He lost it into Ascari and we get a safety car. Full course safety car. Oh, and Too Late can now go in the pits and Razi as well. So this will be really good for them. And I think Joe will follow him through. Oh yeah, he didn't stop yet. Oh, and a bit of a moment for SF Rock. Stan jumps in the pit as well. Is he gonna go for softs? Oh no, mediums. Too Late is going for softs. Right now, 11 laps to go. We're gonna get a safety car. Well, we have a safety car, so maybe race will resume with 8 laps to go. Around that. So we get a new order now. So Too Late is leading. Razi going for the softs as well. So a bunch of people had to serve their penalty, so they dropped down by a lot. So yeah, new order is Too Late is in the lead. Joe right behind. Bob is back up to P3. Nathaniel P4. Stan in P5. SF Rock in P6. Not Richie in P7. Razi in P8, but he's going to be quite aggressive on fresh softs. Junas in P9, FaZe in P10, Papa Yisu fresh softs as well, P11, and D-Mac in P12. So this might be really interesting. Just waiting on Papa Yisu and FaZe. But yeah, Too Late with the aggressive strategy. And will try to create a gap between him and P2. And FaZe goes in the pits now. What is he gonna go for? Softs. So question is, can FaZe catch up to the group before the end of Sector 2, or are we gonna go for another one? I think it should be fine. Well, let's see if we if we get a race restart now, or we go for another lap. Might be really close. The safety car in. Too Late can now control the pace. So we're going green for 10 more laps. Still waiting. And I think they're going now. Too Late is going. And Bob was waiting on it. And Nathaniel as well. And he's right behind Bob. Pushing. A bit of contact. And now Nathaniel will go for the inside. Who's going to break first? And Nathaniel moves in front of Bob Setta. But I think contact happened behind. And Stan moves in front of Bob's as well. Razi moves the place up. And Jonas as well. Oh, and Stan lost it. Stan lost it just before Lesmo. Oh, another late braking from SF Rock. And now Razi is right behind him. SF Rock goes wide. And Razi's on fresh softs. So he's a bit quicker. And Too Late with the fastest lap with the 21 flat. And that's Razi going for the outside. Getting the slipstream of Bob. And still going at it, but I think SF Rock will get a better exit. And yes, he does. And Stan's in the pit, so I think he has damage. Now FaZe. Going for a move on that Richie. And he's now right behind his teammate. So good fight happening right now between P5 and P9. And DRS is enabled. 7 laps ago. And Razi going back at it. Oh, and really late on the brake, has a bit of a bump on Bob's back. And I think it will give the place to his teammate, FaZe Pantera, who now moves in front of him. And Razi was really late on the brake, and I think SF Rock lost it. No, okay. He's still there. Might have made a mistake. Still side by side with Razi. Now FaZe is up to P5. So we get yellow in Sector 2. I think that's Jonas. And not Richie getting pressured by Papa Yisu now. Who's back in the race. Razi closing up on SF Rock. SF Rock late on the brake. Oh, and Papayesu with the late lunge on not Richie. Now Stan with the fastest lap of the race. I'm wondering if Bob can end up on the podium. How many penalties does only 5 seconds, so Bob has to... Ooh! And not Richie lost it into Ascari. No terminal damage though, so I don't think we'll get a safety car. Lots of car going wide. But yeah, penalty situation. 5 for Joe, 3 for SF Rock, 3 for Papayesu, 10 for Junus, 3 for Stan, and 3 for DMAC. So if Bob can remain into that 5 second, he might gain a place. But now FaZe has made a move on him. He's on hard, so he might be struggling to keep up with everyone. Yeah, quite lucky. He kind of hit the barrier on the side, so that might be why. Bob trying to keep up with FaZe, but pretty much impossible for him. Does he has DRS? Oh yes, he got it. So we will be able to defend from SF Rock, but might not be enough. Oh, and really late on the brake for SF Rock. Bob still keeping his foot in. Wheel banging from both drivers. It's a really good fight happening right now between P5 and P8. FaZe slowly catching up to Nathaniel. So if FaZe is still pushing like this till the end, he might end up on the second row of the podium. That would be an awesome recovery from him. SF Rock trying to pull away from the group. Will FaZe go for a move now? A bit far behind. Oh, and Papayisu now making the move on Bobsada. And those softs are paying off right now. Oh, and Bob with a bit of a mistake. And Risey might close up to him. And he's got no ERS to defend with. FaZe really closing up now to Nathaniel. Preparing a move. SF Rock is right behind, so no place for mistake for FaZe. Deploying ERS, and I think that's going to be it. Oh, and he stopped. Nathaniel battery's dead. Is he going now? No, he won't. Don't know why he stopped deploying though. So FaZe can't quite make it. Oh, and a bit of a mistake from FaZe. And now SF Rock goes through. And FaZe drops down to P8. A bit too aggressive on the curbs and ends up behind his teammate. And now Joe is 7.9 seconds ahead of Nathaniel, so he's pretty much guaranteed to get that P2 at last, even though he has penalties. Unless he picks up another one. But too late. With the brilliant, brilliant recovery. And I think he made... Oh my god, did Too Late made a mistake? Because he's now right behind. And Joe goes through. And Joe is through. Is he on low fuel? No. Does he have a puncture? Can't see that. He's pretty low on ERS, but what's happening? And now the red light is flashing, so... Is he on low fuel? Yo, that is so weird. He's not on low fuel. But now Joe will win this race on track. Too Late will get P1. Joe will end up in P2. Unless that penalty gets removed. But I'm not sure. Nathaniel completes the podium in P3. SF Rock in P4. Bob ends up in P5. Wow. Only 2,000s behind. Rozzy in P6, not reaching P7. FaZe will end up in P8. Papayisu P9. Junas P10. P11 for Stan, who's crossing the line as we speak. And DMAC will be the last one to cross the line. So really, really fun race to watch. Driver of the day is Joe. And a really good race. I don't know if his penalties is gonna get removed, but on track. Too late wins this race. Joe Royal ends up in P2. Nathaniel completes the podium in P3. Razi coming up next in P4. Bob ends up in P5. SF Rock P6. Am I watching the result weekend? No? Okay. Let's go again. So too late. P1. Joe P2. Nathaniel P3. SF Rock P4. Razi in P5. Bob in P5. Razi in P6. Not Richie P7. Face Pantera in P8. Papa Yesu P9. Junas P10. Stan in P11. DMAC in P12. TGL P13. Farico in P14. And Johnny in P15. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this race. And we'll catch you next weekend. Bye, everyone.